All right, let's talk about Hillary Clinton. Oh my god. So this is gonna be this won't be as much of a scripted video, rather than I have some certain points I want to touch on, and then I'm just gonna be talking about them. So recently, Hillary came out with her new book called "What Happened," and if you look at the title or the cover of the book, it says "What Happened, Hillary Rodham Clinton," right? Because she wrote it. But what she's really doing there is answering the question as to what happened on the page. What happened? All you need to do is look down, and it literally says Hillary Rodham Clinton. Okay, that is what happened. She happened. Okay, that's why she lost. But of course, Hillary can't take the blame for anything. So today we're going to be going over 10 things that she has blamed for the loss of the election that they're just not true, or they're just awful excuses, right, for her to make. So, first of all, I want to say her book prices already, the day they were released, Amazon and Walmart both cut the price by 40%. That's how little faith they had that anyone would want to buy this book. They are smart. I saw on another page that this store was cutting it 75% off Hillary's book on day one. That's how much they know people just don't care anymore. We don't care why you lost, okay? We don't care about your excuses, Hillary. So at the moment, I am sick. If I sound sick, that's why. I just want to point that out. I understand if you were anti-Trump during the campaign. I do. Right? Not because, oh, he's a racist white male. Like, if that's your argument, then I don't think you're very intelligent. But I do understand why someone might not like Trump. He's rude, he's egotistic, things like that. I never understood, though, how anyone could be pro-Hillary. I really never understood it. I understood why you might not like Trump. I never could understand why someone would like Hillary. So let's get into the 10 things Hillary Clinton blamed for the loss of her election. The 10 excuses, we'll call them. Number 1, racist white people. Yes, folks, racists. Racist whites. So this argument obviously doesn't make any sense. Where were all these racist white people the last 2 elections? Right? Where they, we're okay with the black person being president, but this white lady, we gotta stop her. No. Okay, in her book, she talks about all these racist, bigoted white people. You're white! What? Were these angry, racist white people just, they didn't really mind when we had a black president running. But now we have an old white lady, and we need to stop her, because racism? No, Hillary, that's one of the worst excuses you could have ever said. So the next one, this is a big one that she always says, sexism and misogyny. So, Hillary claims in her book that there is still widespread and nationwide hatred towards women. Hatred towards women. Oh my god, I really don't know anyone who hates women. I don't. Okay, I heard so many people during the election say that they supported Hillary because she was a female. I never heard one person say they were voting for Trump because he was a man or because they didn't like women. And I follow a lot of conservative sites, a lot of conservative people, and a lot of Democrats as well. I never heard anyone say they were voting for Trump because of his sex. I did, however, hear a lot of people talk about how they were voting for Hillary because we just need a woman president because she's just a female, So, that's another excuse. Let's get to the third one, which is rather rude. She claimed gutless white women were responsible for her loss. She claims that white women would have been under tremendous pressure from fathers and husbands and boyfriends and male employers not to vote for the girl. So again, these evil white men off in the ether just raining their male privilege down on these women, telling them not to vote for the girl. I mean, this kind of goes in with the misogyny one. Again, who's really not voting for her because she's a woman, right? I don't know anyone who actually did that. Next up, fourth thing she blamed was James Comey and WikiLeaks. So this one is hilarious. It gets me every time because Hillary is literally complaining that people exposed her of lies and illegal behavior. Okay, this is like me blaming a witness who watched me rob a store for getting arrested. It's not the witness's fault that I got arrested, it would be my fault. So Hillary is complaining that people caught her doing illegal activities. Like, oh, well, if they didn't know I was breaking the law, I would have won. That's actually her argument. Okay, let's continue. Number 5. Ooh, this one's scary. Russia collusion. So again, Hillary is blaming yet another far-off entity for her loss. I mean, come on. The Russia collusion story was on the news for weeks, and no proof was ever found. CNN members even were caught on video saying the whole thing was a nothing burger. That they had no proof of any of this, and they were just trying to go along with it, no matter what it took. So, Hillary's just blaming things that have nothing to do with anything. Next up, this one is actually hilarious, because if you ever watch the news, you will know why this is just absolutely false. She blames the news media. Yes, let's talk about this. So let's not talk about how 96% of news outlets endorsed Hillary Clinton's campaign. Right, because they're clearly against her when 96% support her, right? She mentions that Fox News was biased towards Trump. Obviously, yes, Fox News has a conservative bias. I'm not going to deny that, right? People who say CNN is objective news. No, it's not. It's really not, right? Fox News has 7 times less the viewers than the other major news sources combined when you combine them together, like, CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, Huffington Post, New York Times. All those other news sources were biased in favor of Hillary. They all were, right? And here's another thing. Trump repeatedly went on CNN, NBC, or MSNBC, and other news sources that were very against him. Hillary, however, never went on to Fox News or any other conservative news source. Fox News talked multiple times, yeah, we invited Hillary on for an interview. She didn't accept. Because Hillary knows it's so easy to say that Hillary looks like a better candidate when she's only being interviewed by people that strongly agree with her, right? It's easy to paint her as this great person when the people asking you questions want you to be successful. Whereas with Trump, they literally want him to fail, right? So the fact that she's blaming the news is just laughable. Right-wing propaganda is the next thing she complains about. So again, Hillary had virtually every major news source, every celebrity's support. Huge companies even supported her, and they spoke out against Trump. I mean, if you remember, Pepsi, that's one of the biggest companies in the whole country, in the whole world. They spoke out and said, we will not ever sell to Trump, ever. We hate him. I mean, you had huge companies talking about how awful Trump was. You had every celebrity virtually on public TV, in the Grammys, in the Golden Globes, talking down on Trump, right? Every major news source was trashing Trump 24/7. For her to say that right-wing propaganda made her lose is insane. Facebook, members of ex-Facebook members even came out who worked for Facebook and said, yeah, we were told by our superiors to silence conservative points of views with news. So, for instance, if someone looked up something on Facebook that they wanted, some news outlets about, it would first recommend the very liberal ones before it mentioned the conservative ones. That way they could enforce their view, right? This is everywhere. It's everywhere in modern society. So right-wing propaganda is a sad excuse, Hillary. Come on. This one, Bernie Sanders. Well, yes, Hillary, it makes sense that Bernie would be just a little pissed off if he got the election stolen from him. For Hillary to say, it's unfair that Sanders attacked me after I rigged the election against him, that's insane. Of course he's going to be upset. Of course his supporters are going to be upset. Lots of Bernie supporters ended up voting for Trump just for that reason. Win elections fairly, Hillary. I mean, you don't need to cheat for everything. I mean, I know your husband's very good at cheating, but you don't need to adopt that too. Anyway, jokes aside, number 9, GOP suppression of black voters. Now, this one's interesting because Hillary actually cites a debunked study in her book to prove her point. right? This study that she's coming up with, this idea, was a study done with Wisconsin where they said that, oh yeah, 200,000 voters, their votes weren't counted, right? And they all would have voted for Hillary, of course. And this study was actually debunked. Now, who debunked it, you might ask? Not some far right-wing thing that hates Hillary. No, Politico debunked it. Politico is extremely, extremely far left, and they still admitted that the voting suppression in Wisconsin, where Hillary is claiming it happened, is completely false. It's completely false, right? So a program that, or an organization that agrees with Hillary says it's complete crap, right? So when all that you can resort to is citing a false study that's been debunked by people that think the same way you do, that's when you know that you are absolutely scraping the bottom of the barrel, right? So finally, number 10, what'd she blame this time? The First Amendment. Yes, literally, Hillary, in her book, she calls for the rewriting of the First Amendment for free speech. Don't believe me? Let me read off a quote to you from her book. We need a whole different system. And so I said I was going for a constitutional amendment from day one on Citizens United, because there's no way to get to where I think we need to be unless we change the Constitution. So what Clinton is saying, Hillary is saying, is that if only people weren't allowed to say what they wanted to say, she might have won. And this is an awful tactic because it suggests that the only way you can win is if people are silenced. That is very un-American, and it's an awful thing for her to say and try to blame, right? So now I have kind of like a little bonus here. I know this video's already been going for almost 12 minutes. However, this is very interesting, and I didn't know about this until last night. So I'm going to play a video clip for you guys. You're going to hear the audio. It's going to be Bill Clinton speaking during Hillary's campaign here. So I'll turn up the volume here, and I'll actually play it right now.
I'm old enough to remember the good old days, and they weren't all that good in many ways. That message, I'll give you America great again, is if you're a white Southerner, you know exactly what it means, don't you? What it means is, I'll give you the economy you had 50 years ago, and I'll move you back up on the social totem pole and other people down. What Hillary wants to do is take the totem pole down and let us all go forward together.
Alright, so I'm going to pause it right there. So what Bill Clinton is saying there in favor of Hillary is that, you know, what Trump really means when he says make America great again is let's make it good for those white Southerner slave owners, right? Let's go back to the old times. So that's what Bill Clinton thinks that Donald Trump means. But now, let's go back to when Bill Clinton announced his presidency with this clip and pay attention to what he says.
I believe that together we can make America great again.
To secure a better future for your children and your grandchildren, and to make America great again.
It's time for another comeback. Time to make America great again. I know Hillary's the one who can do it.
Paid for by Hillary Clinton for president.
I'm Hillary Clinton, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Right, so there's Bill Clinton himself. The first clip was him during his race saying, it's time to make America great again. So when he says it, it's this great patriotic thing, but when Donald Trump says it, of course, it's an evil racist thing. And then the second clip when he was saying it, that was for Hillary Clinton when she was running in 2008, the first time she lost. The second time she lost was a lot more funny, but either way, that's going to do it for the video today. 10 reasons that, or I should say 10 excuses, really, that Hillary blames for losing the election. Tell me if you guys agree with these. If not, feel free to leave a comment so we can discuss some things, and that's going to do it for the video.